All right, so I have some Fabriano 100% cotton hot press paper. This is a block, and I just watched out a little brown little rectangle here to use the filbert grainer. This is the filbert 3/4 inch. I'm sorry, 3/8 inch Princeton Velvet Touch grainer brush, and you can see, the bristles are kind of missing in some spots, so it has like this little separation happening. And this is perfect to make grain. Get it? Grainer. So if you have like a tree or wood, so you just put some brown, and I mix in some lunar black with some burnt umber, get a deeper brown, and I'll show you. I'll zoom in a little bit. Just take the brush and you make the grain. It really glides. I'm gonna get a little bit wetter. This watercolor should be really kind of loose on the hot press. Woo. So you can just make some lines like this. You can kind of twist the brush this way and that way. And you get that wood grain kind of look. If you have difficulty painting little lines to make wood grain, I kind of twist the brush. And you get a little bit darker by adding some lunar black. Some areas you can kind of make a little eye. I'm just kind of twisting my brush, pushing down. And get those little eyes there, push down, turning on its side. But look how quickly I was able to paint grain, wood grain. So maybe you have a big area that you want to paint wood grain, and just choosing a brush can take you all day, and you want a little bit more realistic, slightly more realistic. This is a great little tool to use. Now, I don't know how many people are painting a lot of wood elements, but look how simple that was, right? And if you just do it without painting the brown first, you can see the lines, how it goes like this. Depending on how much water, loose wet paint you have. See this little bit of dry brush happening here. And on a hot press, it's going to just really glide. Now I'm going to add even more watery paint. Just gliding down, go this way. It's cool. You could do some really cool effects with this. You can just make some really cool lines. You can do some abstract kind of playing with this for doodles. I thought it was a fun brush to show you. Not only can you make grain, let me zoom back out, grasses. So if you were like in a field, right, you just kind of twist your brush this way and then push down, and you've got some grasses. So it's not just a grain brush. You could do it for grasses. You could do it for trees, right? So if you had a tree, we'll just put the, like a pine tree here. Just going right down in here. Pushing down. And then we mix up some greens. So like pine needles or greens. I'll add a little brown to this. Get this a little bit looser with the water. So we can just kind of like go like this. We've got those little, even perfect for a wonderful palm tree. So pine needles. Like this. Palm tree, you kind of go like this and just kind of pull down. You see that? So if you're not good at doing palm trees, again, just kind of take this brush, hold it on its side like this, go like that, and push down, and you've got palms. Again, with the grasses, it's a fun brush to play with. I thought we'd do like a really simple, cute little tutorial using this brush. I just grabbed. Now, the paper, that's hot press. If we use cold press, it's very, very, this paper soaks up a lot of paint, so you need some more watery paint. And I won't start using that brush. I might start using a Princeton 12 Aqua Elite and just put a couple of trees in there. So this is a piece of Arch paper, 100% cotton cold press. I just moved it down. And I'll just grab some ultramarine blue deep and some burnt sienna. I'll mix it up. Make a nice brown. I like these two colors together because they're granulating colors. Therefore, it creates a lot of texture. Just do some simple trees. Just kind of push down here. just going from the top to bottom and then adding in some branches. Push and then kind of go like that. Right, I'll add another one kind of next to it. You can make the colors a little bit lighter or darker. Not too dark though if you want to see the green. I'm just tapping in some deeper color with the ultramarine blue deep. Maybe even some more burnt sienna in some areas. And then putting some branches off of that. Again, just having fun with the branches. This is really like a light color. I might just go in and tap some of the color, some deeper color in here. Blue and burnt sienna. Not too dark because I want to be able to see that green, remember? And then maybe one more tree. I like to do things in threes, so maybe this one kind of leans, goes in with these guys. Of course, if it's bigger, maybe I should make this one really big for the green. So I'll make this one really big. And maybe like a kind of bigger branch coming off of it. And then we could start to put the smaller branches. That's a bigger one, so you can do the green. And I love using those two colors, like I said, because of the texture it creates. I can already see it separating, the pigments seeping into the paper. Get this wonderful texture, right? Just simple trees with this brush. So I'll let this first layer dry and come back and start playing with that green brush. So now that it's dry, I'll go back in with a lunar black again and the burnt umber. And I need a fair amount of paint because remember this is a cold press and it really seeps in. So let's try playing with this. It might have more of a dry brush kind of thing going on. And then kind of twist it, turn it. So remember, it's a green brush, so it'll be perfect for wood green, but let's play with it for a tree trunk. I'm kind of just going down the line here and kind of mushing it, like pushing down in some areas. So you don't want it all uniform. And this is how you could do it, use this brush for a tree. I showed you how to use it for wood grain. And now I'm kind of pushing down in some areas. But you get this nice textural look on the tree. And for like little knots, you can kind of push down. The tree has knots too in the bark. I might just grab some lunar black and just kind of tap in some areas that are wet. If it's not wet, I can get some more watery paint. See, it's not wet there. I just clean up my brush, add a little bit more water, kind of push down. It's really fun. Great brush to try for texture. See, another thing, and then you're using these textures, and the lunar black is a granulated color again. It's just very fun to play with this. I'm going to put some greens in there. I'll show you what I mean by the greens, using this for greens. I'm really loving playing with this texture. If I turn it on its side, I can make the nice little branches. So I don't have to switch too many brushes. Normally I would do a liner brush. And again here, maybe have ultramarine blue and burnt sienna instead of the lunar black. A little bit more on the blue side. Playing around with a little color. It's just a fun brush to try. I love different brushes with watercolor and even acrylic, but this is really kind of fun. And like I said, I'm pushing down And so now it's just one solid color in some areas, and then using that green with the bristles in other areas. Kind of cute, right? Add a little blue. Really enjoying that. So, like I said, maybe I'll add some greens. So I'll just remove some of this browns, blues. Play with some brushes. Try some new brushes. If you can't afford them, I get it. Just get your basic ones. But if you know, I think the Princeton are pretty affordable to try them. Especially if you want to paint something wood grain and you're finding it very difficult for yourself. I'm mixing up some green with some Prussian blue, burnt umber, and a little bit of yellow. And the burnt umber just makes it look more like a pine green color. So now I've got this brush again. And let's try to put some leaves or greens kind of coming off. See, I'm just kind of making like this. Almost like there's pine needles kind of coming down from the top. Wisping down, pushing down. So you got that grain. I might add a little bit more color, deeper color. There we go. Well, that's wet. So now it's wet on wet in some areas. And then a little bit lighter in some areas. Fun to play with new brushes. So a little bit more dry brushing happening on this left-hand side. But I get this light, I added some more yellow, light green, swooping coming down. Might be really good to try and play with this brush for those swooping trees. Oh my God, I'm having a total menopause brain moment. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, perfect for that. Yeah, I'm really liking this. To play with this tree. Really interesting. Pushing down in some areas and then not in some other areas. So the tree I was thinking about was the weeping willow type of trees. Perfect for that. And I'm just having fun playing with this. A little bit of ultramarine blue deep. You could have some grasses coming up from this way. Just kind of fun to play with this brush. Now that I've played with that, I might actually play with the rest of my painting, throwing in some background color. So I get white trees. Could have put in some blue area, so ultramarine blue deep, burnt sienna, a little bit more blue. Play around with looking with blue background. Just kind of watering this in here. So wet on dry. Add a little bit more blue, maybe more cobalt. Just having fun with the trees. And water this down. Maybe a little more gray. Let's have some fun. They're not supposed to be realistic. It's just giving you an idea of like playing with this particular brush if you've never used it. I'm lifting up some of the paint. And maybe I didn't like some areas that were painted. I just really kind of want to have fun, you know, playing around with some trees. And just grabbing some lunar black and the brown again. Gonna grab some water, blend this. So now it's gonna bleed out. Woo! See, they were kind of boring. So let's get them a little bit more exciting. The trees. I'll add a little bit of water here. And up here. I just want my trees to be more interesting. Now that I showed you how to do the green, now let's have some fun with the trees. And I'm tapping, that was water I stuck over here, just plain water. And this is not, see, this is just dark paint. I can go back and put the water, but where the water is, I can kind of bleed a little bit thicker paint. Have fun with this, the trees, see? I'll go down here and just add some clean water. Go over my tree that I just did, and down here, and go back with that lunar black and the burnt sienna. I'm sorry, burnt umber. A little bit more black. Kind of bleed out the color. Now the tree is a little bit more interesting, softer, funner. This is just how I play with things. Maybe I could have another thing coming here. I don't know. I just felt like it was not as interesting as it should have been. And then I could bleed some more of that black in this tree. Still using the 12 aqua, and I can switch now to a liner brush. This is a liner from Princeton. It's a number 4 umbria series. I'm just making little tree branches. Just having a little fun with this tree, getting a little darker with this color, adding some fun branches, and playing. Play with the brushes, learn how to use them, find some fun, unique ways to use them. So I'm always going to test them up for you. You don't have to do it. That's my job. So yeah, you could do the liner brush with all these little lines, but it might take you a long time. With this grain brush, it's pretty quick. And it's kind of fun to play with something different. You gotta try some new things. I always like to try new brushes. Not everything, you know. Sometimes I'm like, look at the brush and I'm like, immediately no. Now this is creating a little cauliflower bloom. It's fine. Now the thing you can do is, I've had this color, I have gold over here, and I'm going to play with a little bit of gold as well. I'm just going to activate this a little bit. It's very, very thick. I don't know why. So this is Holbein's gold paint, and maybe my tube had some air in it, so it's made it thicker. I don't know. I'm just going to tap some of the gold in here. Making my trees a little bit more interesting still. They don't always have to be plain old trees. Cauliflower bloom, different kind of tree. I can just take my wet brush, kind of play with this color, add some blue, and kind of move that out. Goodbye, cauliflower bloom. Isn't this fun? Just interesting. Get the gold, get all those things happening. Kind of add some water up in here, kind of mush those colors now. And I think I'm just going to splatter in a little bit of yellow. I want my trees to be interesting and fun. And so you've got that grain brush, you've got all this fun stuff. You can water your trees, make your paintings interesting. Bright yellow, really kind of cool. So if you've never tried a grain brush, you should try the grain brush. Play with your stuff. You can use it so many different ways like I showed you. I love this. It's kind of fun, simple. Making grains, using it for wonderful, if I took this piece of paper off, if you wanted to use wonderful palm trees, I'm going to use the back of it, this paper, don't want to waste. Remember I talked about the palm trees. Get the green in there. It's not a pretty green. So you're basically holding it on its side like that, and then you push down and pull back. And you have wonderful palms with this brush. It's fun to play with. Really simple. If you're a person who likes to paint a lot of palms, look how fast that was. And then just make the palm tree itself color. Push down. Woo! That's the fastest palm, right? Grab a little bit of lunar black. Put little edges on this. Coconuts. Boom. Maybe my palm should be a little skinnier, kind of look like this. A little bit bigger on the bottom, and then go back. See? Woo! Palms. So this grain brush is fun. You gotta have fun, and you should try it. I liked it. And you get the grasses in the bottom. Perfect for beach grass too. And palm trees. and grain on trees. I love playing with different things. I love how this came out. It's very, very different, right? You can have a little couple of blue splatters inside here, brown, green, or whatever. Mixing all these colors. Down on the bottom. Just have fun with your paintings. That's what it's all about. A little abstract, a little fun. I'm gonna remove the tape. I just taped it down with just like some Scotch Magic tape. I'll have to cut off the top and bottom, you know, obviously. Super fun, right? So let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoy it. Check out that grain brush. You can choose to buy it or not. Really kind of fun. All right, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.